What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Crystal and this is Bond Book Reviews, and today we're going to be continuing on something from a live that I did back a couple of weeks ago. I had some lovely people on my live and we decided to do some organization stuff for Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading's birthday, and we decided to get all of our TBR and color code it with stickers based on where we could find the audiobook. It is the most nerdiest thing I've ever heard of in my life, but it made my heart so happy. So I've already started, obviously we started on that live, and pretty much what we were doing is putting stickers on the back of our books, color coded depending on where we can get the book audio from. So when I go to read a book physically, if I want the audio to go along with it, I know where I get it. Now the colors that I have been using is silver is for Scribd, orange is for Audible, black is no audiobook, green is for my local 360 library, which is an Australian thing, purple is for Libby, yellow is for Audible but I already own it, or it is available on their free to access catalogue because then I don't have to spend any extra money on it, and blue is for Hoopla. So I just figured I would just take you along for the ride while I finish this off, because I have managed to finish the top 3 shelves. I still have the last shelf to do, as well as my series. The baby's currently asleep, so I had some time to do it. So let's just time lapse this and get this finished. Okay, so it is now many days later. I just got out of the shower, the baby girl is asleep. So I am now going to do the stickers for my series shelves in the living room. And then my plan is I'm kind of going to do like a, my hair is a mess. I'm kind of going to do like a, I guess you could say like a tally system. I'm curious like which streaming, listening audio services I actually use. And which ones I need to keep based on the books that I currently have, because I might be able to get rid of some that cost me, like Scribd or Audible even, depending on how I go with this and if most of them are in my library. And then I can always like renew it if I need to listen to that particular book, but there's no point me paying month to month if I'm not using it often enough, because we're about to buy a house. So it is time for me to crunch money. I have to try and get this finished and this finished in the hour and a half the baby's asleep. Wish me luck. Now, as I do this, I'm going to be listening to 1,000 Boys Kisses. So if you see me randomly wiping my face, it's because I'm crying. Okay, so I have all my stickers here. I've got silver for Scribd, blue for Hoopla, yellow is Audible that I already own, orange is Audible that I don't yet own but is available only on Audible, black is there's no audiobook, purple is Libby, and green is Access 360, which is like an Australian version of Libby. And then I have all of my tabs open. So I have the Hoopla, I have the Audible, and I have the Libby. And then if I can't find it on any of those 3, I then will try Scribd or Access 360, which I can't get Access 360 on here, but I will be able to get Scribd. was really starting to think that I could get rid of Audible, but this last stack I've just done have only been available exclusively on Audible. Not necessarily exclusively on Audible, but just like Libby, Scribd, or Hoopla doesn't have it. Some of them may be available on my Access 360, which is like is my Australian library, but I haven't been checking. So at the moment, I think I have to keep my Audible. So dangerous about doing this and going through like all of my books is it's now making me like want to read them all, which is dangerous because these are all the series that I haven't started yet. So yeah, I'm having fun, but it's dangerous because it makes me want to read them all. Well, baby girl is awake. I have one shelf left to do on here plus this small stack, and then the whole other shelf over there to do. So I did not get very far through. She's woken up half an hour early, but that is the life of motherhood. So I will catch up with you in another week when I can sit down and do this again. If I don't get a chance to do this later today, it's just a project I'm working on. So this footage is going to be across a couple months, I think. Okay, so baby girl went back down for another nap this afternoon and I managed to get finished, which totally shocks me. But my series were obviously a lot quicker because I could kind of just like search the author rather than individual books. So it was a lot quicker. So let's just talk about like some figures and stuff, and then I will discuss with you my thoughts about the different audio platforms, which ones I'm going to keep, which ones I'm not going to bother keeping at this point because of what I've noticed in terms of what's available on my book collection. So I will have like a pie chart like up here so you can see like the percentage and ratio of like what is what. It'll be the same colors as the ones I've been using on the sticker. This is just me. I have like a full spreadsheet I've been using, so I'll put the graph up here so you can see it. But pretty much I had 31.9% of my audiobooks were on Libby. And so the way that I chose how to do this was some of these audiobooks were obviously available on multiple platforms. So I kind of like categorized the platforms in terms of order of priority for me. So Hoopla was first because it's free and there's no wait list. Then Libby because it's free, obviously. Then I did Audible owned, obviously because I already own it, doesn't cost me anything. Audible because I'm already paying for that subscription. Then I did Scribd next because I found that a lot of the things that I want that are Audible exclusive and things like that makes me more inclined to want Audible, whereas there's not things on Scribd that aren't on Audible, if that makes sense. And then obviously there's the Access 360, which there's only 4 books, so that's kind of like lower on my priority list and it's free. So what I did was if there was books that were from multiple platforms, I stickered it with the platform, with all like the multiple platforms, so I knew that it was available on others if it wasn't able to be obtained at the one that I was aiming for. But in terms of the categorization and tallying of which one that I like gave that book was whichever one was the highest in my ranking. So of that, the percentage that was with Libby is 31.9%. Hoopla was 23.1%. Audible that I owned was 2.6%. Scribd was 7%. Audible was 20.5%. Access 360 was 1.7%. And books that had no audio was 13.1%. So that equates to 47 books on Audible, 16 on Scribd, 6 that I own already on Audible, 53 that are on Hoopla, 73 on Libby, 4 on Access 360, and 30 that have no audio. So my decision after this is that I am going to get rid of Scribd because I noticed that, yes, I do have 7% of my audiobooks that are on Scribd alone, or yeah, like that are on Scribd alone. And that has pretty much made me realize that I'm going to stop it, and then I can always like get it if I really need it for that particular audiobook. Or I can probably get it on Audible, maybe, I don't know. So I am going to be cancelling my Scribd subscription, but I will, however, be keeping my Audible at this stage because obviously 20% of my books are Audible only and I can't get them from my library. But I love the fact that a predominant collection between Hoopla and Libby, like over 50% of my books are available on my library audiobooks. So that makes me really, really happy. So this video kind of it started from a live that I did like months ago. And then this kind of has just been a project I've been working on in the background, but I figured I was just going to take you guys with me. And I didn't have a plan of where this was going or what I was expecting from this video. But I thought maybe this might be an inspiration for somebody who is trying to figure out, you know, there's so many different subscriptions these days, trying to figure out which ones are actually worth having. This made me realize that I can be saving, you know, $14 a month by not having a Scribd subscription because I barely use it, not enough to maintain it, whereas I am still using my Audible enough to maintain it, and the others are through my library. So it made it really cool. And the good thing about it is, well, is when I go to pick a book, I am a predominant like multi-reader, I guess is what you could say. Like I kind of have an audiobook, a physical, and an ebook kind of going at the same time. If I pick up a book, I can check whether it has an audiobook or not really, really easily without having to go through the multiple, I guess, services to try and find one. It's already on the back of my book in a colored sticker. So although this took a little bit of time to film because I had to find the time to actually do this, overall, the project itself probably only took about 3 to 4 hours for me to do, sitting down and like searching. And now that my entire library is done, when new books come in, I can pretty much do it as I do the rest of my categorization. So when books come through, I add them to my Goodreads, I emboss them, and I categorize them then. So I can just be doing this Audible categorization at that point. So it's not gonna make too much of a difference now that I have it all completely set up. I'll just be able to maintain it, which makes me kind of excited. So if you feel inspired to do this, let me know, tag me when you do a video. I would love to see how other people do this and what they find in terms of their ratio of books that are on which services. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend and leave a headphone emoji in the comments down below if you have nothing to say. Happy reading. Bye.